Hey everybody, this is Eric, Nobody Trader. This here's my disclaimer, which you should read. This is all for education. I'm just showing you guys how I trade and what I'm looking at. So we talked last weekend about where we were at with this big daily breakup candle, and we're looking at a daily chart of the SPY. It's 4/26/2025, and we discussed this upper level right here, and we have closed above it. Would have liked to seen it close above the profit level also, which is this gray line right here. So what do we have in play for next week? Well, looking at these levels, let me change profit here back to, I'm going to hide the diagonal. The diagonal lines are how profit calculates these levels throughout the year, is what those are. So we have this daily candle. On a technical side, from what I see, if I draw a trend line right down through here, we did break up out of that, but that's not the best strong candle, and we did not close above this level. So in the SPY, 552.30 is what I'm looking at. We need to start closing above that. What could happen here is we could reverse at the 552.30 level and pull all the way back down. I could see it doing that to the 523. There again, technically, in my point of view, we are bullish now because we've broken this downtrend. But with tariffs, it seems like everything is news driven anymore. I would be very careful, or I'm going to be very careful, I should say. But what I'm looking at is starting to close above this level, and then the next main level. Draw some lines here. Should get us pretty close. And we do have this gap right here that it hasn't filled yet at the 555 level. So my guess is we're probably going to at least make it to there and fill that gap. But, it is the market. You never know when it's going to do it for sure. So, but we did close above this big daily candle, which that means something in the market. So we're trying to push north. So we'll just have to take it from there and see what happens. If we go back down, the next big level would be this 537.70 level, possibly for a retest. And if it breaks, all the way down to 523.57. So that's what I'm looking at this particular time. And what we're looking at these levels is it going to break it or is it going to reverse? Right? Are we going to continue on? If I'm in a long trade, I know when I get, say, to this 566 level, I probably want to get out of most of my position, or at least, just scale back, see what it does at that level. And there again, this is a daily chart, so you got some time to think about it. But those are the big levels that I see. We have these other, you can see these yellow lines, Fibonacci's I have on here, but in fact, just so I can show you guys, let me get rid of them. Because I'd like to be able to show you that those lines are there and they provide a little bit of resistance, but typically we're going between the main levels that you see here, the gray lines, and then the 50% level. Those are the levels I'm really watching for a potential reversal or a continuation. And when you get a continuation, a lot of times you get up to the next level, or down to the next level, I should say. So right now on this, I'm bullish for now, but caution, very cautious about it. We need to close. We need to get closing up above here and start moving that direction. But there's going to be a lot of resistance in this area. So what are, if you're trading, just be careful what you're trading. But let me see here. If I go to settings now, I think, yeah, let me just turn these off. It's not so congested. And let me draw this one here. So, right, you can see how this, these areas are important to the market right here. It could not close above it, gapped above it. They come back in and fill the gap. So take these numbers that I've given you and just throw them on your chart. Maybe they'll help you out. Maybe they won't. We can come up here and do the same. There again, just so I can show you what happens at the main profit levels and the 50%, right? They had to work, right? They had to work quite a bit to get it down through there. So, at these levels, even if you're day trading, they're important to the market. They're a good place to take trades, get out of trades, things like that. So let's look at the NQ, and it's probably going to look very similar. Yeah, I mean, like I say, most all the stocks, unless you're trading penny stocks and stuff on low volume, everything kind of follows the SPY for the most part. There is variances, but I'm just trying to give you the general direction of the overall market or what I'm seeing. So we're looking now at the NQ, NASDAQ 100 E-mini futures, and this is a daily chart. And same thing now, there is a gap here that hasn't gotten filled yet at this 18,371. So at some point they'll come back to get it, and we're kind of looking at the same thing as the S&P when I'm looking at this, because this is we closed green here, but this is kind of a doji candle, which I'm expecting kind of some sideways consolidation, maybe a retest of the 19,065 level. See if it holds. If it holds, there's a good chance we get up to this 2233 area. Let's draw our fib on here. Yeah, and see, we have not closed above this 50% level yet. And if you look over here on the left, it's important, right, to the market. These are areas where typically, stocks, whatever you're trading, they're not just going to waltz right on through there. A lot of times you can get a quick, good counter trend trade and still make good money, even just off a little bounce. So there's opportunities all over the place. So my main levels that I'm looking at in the NQ for next week, we got to get above this. Looks like 19,644. We got to start closing above that to be, really bullish. We already have 4 days of up. We could gap up above there, but I would expect a retest then of this 644 level. The next drop would be a retest if we go down of the 19,054 level. And let's get one more on here. And then at the same time, it could come back to fill this gap right here. And the gap starts at 644 and essentially comes into this 460.25 profit level. So going to be watching there again. We broke this downtrend, so we're trying to get bullish, but I don't really like this daily candle. It's not a real strong candle, so I'm kind of expecting, unless we get a gap up in news, I'm kind of expecting a pullback into this 19,044 level. That's what I'm going to be looking for. We'll see. I'm looking for hourly closes above main resistance levels to kind of have faith in them, Let's see. One person subscribed, and I thank you. It's a start. guys, I'll keep putting these videos out, and like I say, I'm more than happy to look at any particular, stock or futures or whatever you're trading, and so you can put some numbers on your chart, and like I say, just throw them on there and see, you can see what it does when they get there. But please subscribe to the videos, and you can follow me on X also, and I would appreciate it. And I'll keep putting these videos out, and I plan on getting a lot more. I'm going to start a training videos, just basically from what I've learned from the beginning on up. And there again, I don't claim to be a guru or, I'm nobody. I'm just a normal guy that, wanted to change, breaking my knuckles for a living, working all the time as a mechanic. So, and I just love the stock market. It fascinates me and all that. So if there's anything else, this is Saturday. So, if anybody sees this video and wants me to look at something particular, go ahead and, hit me up, and I'll make a video on it and then get it out, at least answer your email and go from there. And anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great weekend.